Hey guys, it's Eric with the Millen Park Minute, and we are back from our special edition. I hope you liked yesterday's episode. Just a little something different from the podcast today. We are going to talk about the good, the bad, the downright ugly of tonight's loss. We are going to talk about MLB Power Rankings, why this team is different, what's going on with who and where and why, and where is everybody that we started this season with? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the roster. We're going to talk about this whole team, and we're going to get right into it. But before we start all that, let's take a time out and say, SeatGeek. Use the code Miller Park Minute, $20 off. This is your only daily Brewers podcast. Yeah, we take some hiatuses from time to time, mental health. Been dealing with a little bit of congestion, that kind of thing. So if I sound a little different, that's why. I apologize. But we are on daily YouTube, Spotify, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, and Apple Podcasts. We're also on Rumble. We're on Twitch streaming for our live shows. Live shows are every Saturday night at 4 o'clock. Saturday afternoon, I guess. But that being said, guys, if you want to support the show, you can go on over to patreon.com/MillerParkMinute. There are some exclusive videos and exclusive content there. I also post videos to brewfanatic.com. So if you want to go over there and check out the content, we do have some upcoming guests and special edition shows that we are working on. We're going to change things up, do a couple little different things here coming up in the next few weeks. So look forward to those. Let's get right into tonight's game story. You're still first place NL Central Milwaukee Brewers at 28 and 25. Before we get into this, let's talk about the weekend series and a crucial factor. I think this needs to be said. I didn't post. I think the last game I actually talked about was Thursday or Friday. I can't remember at this juncture while I'm recording, so we'll just assume we lost a lot over the last couple days, and some big games. San Francisco is still a tricky, tough team. Even be it that they are not, necessarily a first place team. We had a scary moment, and I think the biggest loss outside of the actual game losses was the loss of Willie Adames. Willie Adames got struck by a foul ball off the bat of Brian Anderson. He had to be taken to the hospital. He was then released to recover at home. But that's a big loss. He had to go to the IL, concussion protocols, all that stuff that goes along with that. I'm not going to say good because obviously it's bad. But yet another component to this Milwaukee Brewers team that we have lost. I did go to Sunday's game. If you saw those pictures posted on social media, I did go to that. I did enjoy the game. Of course, it was a victory, moving me to 3-0 on the season. Me, my wife, and my son. Great time. We really enjoyed it. My buddy actually, shout out to my friend Zach Daniel, was the performer for the Star Spangled Banner. So beautiful stuff, good stuff. Great game. Yeah, it's always good to see Devin Williams getting a 4-out save. It was nice. Just lots of good stuff happened there, and I was happy to be at a game. It had been a minute. I had went the first week to 2 and didn't go until the end of May. But life happens. Life gets busy. I still talk baseball and still watch baseball every day. So, I mean, that's just what it is, with the exception of yesterday because there was no Brewers game. I still watched a couple other little games, though. All right, let's get into this loss to the Blue Jays. Of course, the AL East is a nightmare to play. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. This team is a talented team, albeit a fourth-place team in the AL East. They are one of the top talented teams in baseball. If you look at power rankings, you look at any ranking, they are one of the top teams. It's guys like Vlad, it's guys like Chapman, it's guys like Yusei Kikuchi. I can't say that right. Biggio. It just the list goes on, and this team is a hitting team. Merrifield's on this team. You got Chapman, Brandon Belt, Guerrero, Bichette, Springer. I mean, these guys are all stars. A lot of these guys are sons. I mean, they're Kirk. Catcher Kirk, Alejandro Kirk is great. Kevin Biggio, son of a big league all star, one of the best in the. Like some of these guys are just legacy, good players. Not much else that you can say about it. So, of course, we got a big start with a William Contreras 2-run home run, took the lead. Of course, that was given up right away. 4 runs surrendered. Adrian Hauser got roughed today. It was not his day. These guys are an aggressive hitting team. They had 14 hits and 7 runs today. Of those 14, 11 of which were off of Adrian Hauser. Adrian Hauser gave up 7 of the runs, 6 of which were earned. Went 4 1/3. Just an ugly day. I guess I would say the Contreras homer 2-run shot to start out the game was the good. The bad and the downright ugly go to Adrian Hauser today. Just couldn't get it together. This is a very aggressive hitting lineup. The bullpen really didn't. All but 3 hits. 3 hits was the only thing the bullpen gave up. Milner, Cousins, and Wilson. It was a bad Hauser start. Now everybody's allowed a bad start, or 2, or 3. You're going to have a couple. It's a long season. You got a lot of them, 30 plus a year, if you're healthy the whole season. So, but not a good look. Not a good look against the Blue Jays. Now, we need to find a way, and I'm not saying we can only beat bad teams, but we need to find a way to be more competitive. I actually said in conversation earlier tonight that small ball is the key here. I think we need to master the small ball and positioning people now. With this lineup is going to be shaken up quite a few times. I mean, we also got the news today that we lost Jesse Winker. So with Jesse Winker being out to neck cervical strain, I believe was the diagnosis. We are really, really hurting. Yesterday, Luke Voigt was DFA'd. I did not talk about any Brewers news, just to the respect of the day. But Luke Voigt was DFA'd. Yeah, we're not looking good. Not looking good in that department. So injuries are really hurting us here. We still, however, managed to be in first place. So let's take that and run. That's all I'm covering on the game. That's all I got to say about the game. One of the things I do want to talk about, though, is I do want to talk about this roster and what is going on, because I think it really speaks to where we are and how much better we could be without these injuries. And the injury list, if you guys go, I don't know if you do this, I do this, but if you guys go to MLB.com or go to MLB.com, the Brewers webpage, their main page, for the better part of the first 2 months, the injury page has always been one of the top couple stories. That's not a good sign. That's never a good sign when it is. So Jesse Winker placed on the 10-day IL with a cervical strain. They brought up Abraham Toro from AAA. And Owen Miller was able to start tonight, so that was good. Here's the move corresponding with Luke Voigt yesterday. He was designated for assignment. Alex Claudio cleared waivers, was sent outright to AAA in Nashville. As you know, Claudio has had his tough go about it. Willie Adames, 7-day IL with concussion. Jesse Winker, they don't have a date yet. Eric Lauer has thrown some starts, is what they said in today's game, or some bullpen sessions. I'm sorry. Bush mid-June, so he could be in the near future. JB Backhouse Because I don't know how to pronounce that one. Cervical strain. They don't have a date on him yet. Miley is looking at July. Brandon Woodruff, right shoulder inflammation. After the All Star break is what they say now. Ooh, that's not a positive one. Luis Urias, early June, so in the next few days we should see him. Aaron Ashby, we know is out. Garrett Mitchell, we know is out. Justin Wilson is expected in July. He's coming back from Tommy John, so. And Jason Alexander, late May, early June. So the reason I'm talking about this, and the reason I'm bringing this up, because we've talked about this 100 times over, is what are we going to see now? Who should we bring in? What's going to happen? We already signed Julio Tyron, but we're going to need to make some major league moves. I don't think we can do it. I will never say Jackson Churio is the answer. I've heard a lot of talk of that lately. He's getting better. Yeah, he's still got to work through a lot of stuff. He's still 19 years old. So let's put that back for. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about guys we do have. Small has already come up. Didn't work out so well for him. Both of the times he's come up. David Gasser is a guy that's on the cusp, but I don't know if you want to burn that one yet. He has a lot of walks so far, so I don't think that's quite the answer. But there are some outside answers. There's always guys that are kind of hanging around free agency that aren't signed to a team. Obviously, Tyron was one of those pickups. They're going to have to. This is an all hands on deck. I mean, obviously with the DFA of Luke Voigt, and hopefully that doesn't happen with Mr. Winker. But at the same point in time, he hasn't been hitting, so it's very, very likely they could be decisive about it because they need to make moves to maintain and keep this team rolling and hope that nobody else gets hurt. So that being said, there's guys like Eric Hosmer out there. There's I had it. Eric Hosmer is one of them. He would be an option to try out. I mean, you're kind of giving him a shot. He's already being paid because he was released by, I believe, the Cubs. So, no, Padres. I'm sorry. He's being paid by the Padres. So he would be due a major league minimum left on a deal. Let me just go to trade rumors because that will tell me. I'm just trying to think of the names of these guys. Nope. I was thinking of the Yankee. He's already gone. We're going to get into another update on Valley. Ooh, Jacob Barnes was out there. So there's guys out there. I mean, there are definitely guys out there, and that's what I guess the point I was trying to make. There's guys to be claimed. It's just about making the right pieces and pickups at this juncture. Aaron Hicks, Julio Teheran. And maybe they could swing a trade. I mean, I don't think it's worth giving up on everything yet and selling the farm to restock your system. But at the same time, they're going to have to bring some outsiders in at the same point because we don't have enough players anymore, which is hard to say because look at where we were. We had an outfield that had 3 potential prospects. That was the other one who we don't have an update on because he's not on the major league roster. So The other mention, and I guess at this point we might have to look at that option. Self Relic is obviously a guy that would be great if he was healthy. But another option that we have in the system is Keston Hira, but we all know Keston Hira can't hit when it comes to the majors. And that would be probably a final go of it for Keston. So Keston would need to prove himself and be put in a position where he knows that he needs to prove himself and not come in with that lackadaisical attitude that he had last time. As you guys well know, I have a well documented history of not liking him. So I just think those are the best possible scenarios that we bring somebody else in because we need to find somebody who can hit. We need to get a hitter on the roster ASAP, and quite frankly, that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. We need to switch something up offensively to make this whole again. I'm going to follow up and just say this in brief. Um, the roster is going to be more fluid. This is probably going to be a record season for the number of guys that we have come up. So I said it before and I'll say it again. It happens. It's going to take a lot. And this year it's going to take a heck of a lot because a lot of these guys aren't going to be back fast. So they got to make some moves and figure out what they are going to do at this juncture. And I'm sure Matt Arnold is having plenty of sleepless nights, talking this out with Craig Counsell, looking at available, players via, scouting and advanced analytics and all those things. I'm sure he's already tired and wore out at this juncture of the season. So that being said, let's move on into let's go a little further, a little deeper here. Um, let's talk about the situation out in San Diego. If you don't already know, the Valley Sports and Diamond Sports uh, saga continues. So the Diamond Sports Group, the corporation which operates Valley Sports regional networks and responsible for nearly half of the MLB broadcasting deals, has informed the Padres it won't make its scheduled payment to the club. John Quandra of the Sports Business Journal was the first to report the news. Diamond has initially missed the payment a couple of weeks ago and had until today to make up the debt if it wished to keep broadcasting rights. So basically, by not making that payment, they forfeited the broadcasting rights. By declaring to do so, Diamond forfeits its in-market broadcast for the Friars games. Beginning tomorrow, the rights will revert to Major League Baseball. Both Aaron and Alden Gonzalez of ESPN report the league will stream Padres games in market on MLB.TV free of blackout restrictions at no cost through Sunday. Thereafter, Gonzalez reports they'll be available in market on MLB.TV for $19.99 per month or $74.99 for the rest of the season. In addition to blackout-free streaming options, MLB is expected to make these games available on various non-Valley cable platforms. So basically, uh, if this is the model that they continue, and that's what I'm going to take this from, if this is the model that they continue for every regional team, every what did they say, 17, I think it's 17 in total teams that Valley has broadcast rights for and control of. If they give back or lose those rights because they can't make the payments, I mean, obviously Padres aren't a huge market team, so it shouldn't be a large payment. If they start missing these across the league, are we going to get $19.99 a month for all the Brewers games? That's a deal. You can't get that. There's no service that offers that unless you're illegally streaming games. There is no way to get, and $74.99 for the rest of the season. Sign me up. I'll take that today, MLB. I will take that deal every day of the week. And I, I, I think we win if this happens. I really do. I think this is a win for the fans because what a better deal than cheap baseball. I mean, yeah, it's gonna suck because MLB's gonna have to sell ads and it's gonna be a different product and it's gonna change the product that we've already changed 100 times over this year. But at the same point in time, that makes the game more accessible and easier to get for every fan. Great. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. So I hope it happens in a way because $19.99 a month for all the Brewers games without paying for a cable subscription sounds pretty darn good to me. I wonder if it's available. I wonder what they would do. So I wonder if blackouts would just cease to exist if this goes further. That's a good question. So what do you think? Put that down in the comments below if you think blackouts would cease to exist if this happened with all teams. I would assume so, right? All right, another news piece. I just want to touch on this because I kind of watched this happen yesterday and I was rather excited about it. Liam Hendricks, fighting lymphoma, returned to the majors after being out and got a beautiful ovation. They actually, I assumed, I was wondering how this would work with the rules, and I think what happened is due to the significance of the moment, they forego the rules. But he did return, which was super cool. There's rookie power rankings. How did I not know about these? All right, Corbin Carroll, Francisco Alvarez of the Mets, Josh Jung, Hunter Brown of the Astros. We saw him. Metaka Yoshida. That's the guy from Japan. Taj Bradley. Bryce Miller. Kodai Senga. That's also pitcher for the Mets. Yuri Perez of the Marlins. I'm just seeing if any of our guys are on there. I doubt it, but Connor Henderson, third base for the Orioles. Nope, no Brewers on that list. Surprise, surprise. They got figured out pretty quick, unfortunately. They started pretty hot, but let's look at they've got some trade rumors on here. I just want to see if there's anything mentioned about the Brew crew. Nope, we don't care about that. All right. Shane Bieber, that'd be cool. Eduardo Rodriguez. Basically, this is kind of early talks of what places need and who's going to be buyers and sellers. So it talks about the White Sox, talks about Shane Bieber, it talks about the Yankees. So nothing of relevance to the Milwaukee Brewers at this juncture. But since it's Tuesday night, let's talk about power rankings. MLB power rankings. How much did we drop? How much did we drop, guys? We're down there. Okay, so Rays, Rangers, Orioles, Braves, Dodgers, Astros, Yankees, D-backs, Red Sox, Mariners, Twins, Blue Jays, Brewers. We are right below the Blue Jays at number 13 on the MLB power rankings. I am not shocked, not at all. But we're still in the top 20, so I mean that counts for something, right? I think our first place position, our default first place position, is also helping us stay atop the power rankings. I'm not going to go into any more power rankings because it's just painful to look at. But yeah, that's about all I got. I think I covered everything I talked about here. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. As always, Let's go get them tomorrow. This team is got some talent. It's just beat up. It is very beat up. So hopefully we'll get them tomorrow, guys, and not lose any more players. Thanks for watching the Miller Park Minute. As always, guys, go Brew Crew. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.